factor. And as noted in chat, a couple of different builds here, strength agility versus strength HP, meaning that the respective runners will have a little bit of a boost to either strength and agility or strength and HP as our run goes along here. And we'll get more into what is going on as we get things started here. The king is giving the instructions. We're going to see what is in our 3 chests to start things off. We've got a magic key as well as a set of wings and a lot of opportunities to be able to save that key, including another magic key. So both of our runners will presumably use the wings to get out of the castle and hold on to not one but both keys so they can utilize it theoretically to raid the treasury in Tanager Castle. And to answer the question in chat, no, the card was not in the tournament here. And let's see, we've got another magic key, we've got an herb, we've got some big bucks, and I'll admit I missed the first chest in the upper left end, but I have a hunch that AmazingToaster will be heading there momentarily, and we'll be able to catch up with it. Meanwhile, Sparkover taking those bucks and utilizing them to purchase more keys, and we find it is the Death Necklace, which is potentially instrumental. As what that does, in the normal game, it just curses you. In this version of the game, what it does is it, along with cursing you, it gives an additional 10 attack power, but at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. And Sparkover finding a droll down in the cave in the basement, and the droll says, nope, you're not going anywhere. And Sparkover opting to go a different route. As AmazingToaster now in the basement. And that looks to be, yes, the Swamp Cave North. And Sparkover right off the bat getting a blue dragon and getting a huge power boost, a huge everything boost, jumping up to level 6 right off the bat here. My goodness, that's a very early lead here. Oof, and the green dragon, well, not so much. AmazingToaster, meanwhile, coming out on the other side of the swamp cave and finding yet another cave. And getting not too far out of it as the scorpion takes care of it, of AmazingToaster. To answer in chat, the blue dragon was the easy enemy, and oh wow, more levels here for Sparkover. 26 and 254 on that particular enemy, and Sparkover already up to level 7 and a gold man for 144 and 72. Meanwhile, AmazingToaster is in coal and is going to search the spot to find nothing. Interesting. Sparkover, meanwhile, is in Cantlin and going to do a little bit of browsing. Leather armor, large shield, pretty nicely priced. A silver shield, only a little over 1,500 gold. But that also means potentially early access to the coordinates. Ooh, magic armor for 415. Not quite enough for Sparkover, but should be able to acquire that fairly quickly here. Toaster, meanwhile, back into the castle, and another level for Sparkover. Ooh, with more double-digit gains of everything. And the Drakima casting hurt more. As Sparkover going up to level 9 on that. Toaster, meanwhile, trying to gather some money the old-fashioned way. Kind of going in, utilizing a key, recognizing there's a key inside the treasury, and just continuing to take the gold. Kind of a ghetto gold grind in a sense. And the Wraith, not as troublesome as last night, as Z-Man noting in chat. Sorry to bring up harsh memories. And Sparkover going back now to get that magic armor. So our players, they're looking to find and defeat the evil Dragon Lord. Now to get to him, they'll be searching caves and towns for the Stones of Sunlight, the Silver Harp, and Erdrick's Token. As Sparkover takes out a Rogue Scorpion for 81 experience. Hurtmore not as effective the second time around. An AmazingToaster, oof, getting bludgeoned by a Druin Lord. But yes, the Silver Harp will be exchanged for the Staff of Rain, and all those items will be traded in for the Rainbow Drop, which our runners will use to enter Charlotte Castle, home of the Dragon Lord. And they'll also be fighting enemies, as you see they've been doing here, one at a time to gain experience and levels to get stronger, as well as gold to purchase weapons, armor, and items to help in their quest. And another level for Sparkover here at the 653 mark. Ooh, and a Demon Knight with baby breath. Oh, there we go. Dataplet in chat making the pun that I wasn't going to go for. And noting in chat here that, yeah, level 10 already bringing a whole lot of hit points. And let's see about the coordinates. 62 south and 11 west. I don't know necessarily about the strength. I didn't get the chance to look at those statistics necessarily. As Toaster continuing to gold and item grind in Tangential Castle and is now opting to save as a Demon Knight runs away from Sparkover. And yeah, 8 minutes in and level 10. Part of it is low experience garnering the next level, and part of it was an early hit on a blue dragon that gave 217 experience that vaulted Sparkover up to level 7. Or level 6, excuse me. And Sparkover finding a cave. It's the Mountain Cave. So there are 5 different treasure chests in here that could have a few of the items that are being sought in the game. Toaster, meanwhile, is looking to get to the town, but the Druin Lord having none of it. And some big bucks in the first chest. Oh, and Toaster not even bothering with the blue dragon there. He just wants to get to the town. And he finds coal. And the Erdrick's token for Sparkover. As Toaster's going to get a flame sword. Well, green dragon with not a whole lot of hit points. Some more big bucks into fairy water for Sparkover. And one more chest for Sparkover to look, but we do know that the mountain cave is needed to complete the quest here, and some more bucks inside the mountain cave. Oh, and the Sparkover making her way out as a Star Wyvern sends AmazingToaster back to the castle at the cost of half the gold, which thankfully, now that it's been spent, isn't a whole lot. Toaster checking out a cave and opting against it. Sparkover deciding to pass on a droll, and AmazingToaster trying to go toe-to-toe with a rogue scorpion. And is put to sleep. Meanwhile, Sparkover finds the town of Remaldar. And is immediately, already having keys, going to go check the treasure chest in Remaldar. And finds the Stones of Sunlight. Another one of the key items needed in the game. So here we are, just 12 minutes in. And Sparkover is going to get the Flame Sword as well, the second best sword in the game. Only behind Erdrick's sword, which can only be found in a treasure chest. And AmazingToaster takes out the Gold Man and is going to get some levels. And is going to jump up to level 5 in one fell swoop. Now Toaster with Radiant is going to check out the cave just to see what it is. And we've got Garen's Grave. $89 and $214 on the Druin Lord. And that gives Sparkover another level. And the Silver Harp AmazingToaster has found in the grave. Wow, 296 for the Star Wyvern, and that's going to get AmazingToaster up another level or 2 here. Yep, up to level 7. Sparkover, meanwhile, just short on purchasing the Silver Shield, the strongest shield in the game. And another level for Sparkover. This is going to get her up to 12. As the AmazingToaster is going to take out a Drakey for a little more experience. $106 and $22 on that Drakema. Yeah, so far pretty generous in terms of experience, really, and gold for both of our competitors, although Sparkover getting it a little bit early and has been able to take that early experience advantage. AmazingToaster playing catch-up a little bit. And Sparkover now has the silver shield. And Smashy taking note in chat that there is a potential soft lock situation since the Swamp Cave connects through Tanagel Basement to the other continent. So if the town of Breckenary is on that second continent, there'll be no way to access it to uncurse yourself. Sparkover continuing to take out some more enemies and is back in Tanagel Castle, perhaps for a magic refill. And Up to NG noting she's, yes, that Sparkover is done purchasing items as she already has the best equipment money can buy. As AmazingToaster going to save at level 7. The Flame Sword, the second best sword in the game. The Magic Armor, the second best armor in the game. And the Silver Shield is the best shield in the game. The only 2 items better are Erdrick's Armor, which can be found in one of 3 search spots. Although we know one of them is empty, that is in Coal. The other 2 being somewhere on the overworld. We do have the coordinates of 62 south and 11 west of the castle. Or it could be perhaps in the guarded shop in the town of Hawksness. And AmazingToaster going to take out a Blue Dragon for, wow, 217 and 251 and another level. Make it 2. So the enemy's very generous thus far in the early going, and wow, 155 and 149 for the Poltergeists. It's like once Hurt More is acquired, that, yes, a very generous seed indeed, Edgy. I appreciate the compliment there in chat. One thing I was looking for assistance on, those who may recall, when AmazingToaster had picked up the Silver Harp, did any of you happen to see what the other 2 items were on the top level of Garen's Grave? Little memory test for a little audience participation memory test here for everyone. Torches. A pair of torches. Duly noted. Sparkover, meanwhile, using the Fairy Water, which works the same way as Repel. And AmazingToaster proving that the Commentator's Curse is alive and well, as Wyvern's only giving 13 experience. And AmazingToaster back into Garen's Grave, perhaps going to dig deep to see if perhaps, well, not only Erdrick's Sword, but also Up to NG, AmazingToaster not aware of where either the token or the Stones of Sunlight are. And yeah, you show up 20 minutes in and you missed a whole lot. That is certainly true. As Sparkover taking out an Axe Knight and is going to go up to level 13, just past the 19-minute mark here, with more double-digit gains. And now has all spells at level 13. All 10 spells, which can be acquired anywhere between level 1 and level 16, but they are guaranteed to be acquired by 16. And Sparkover has found Breckenary, affectionately known as Six Town, because it's the cheapest inn. 6 gold, that's all it needs to be able to stay there. And it is on the second continent, so yes, the Death Necklace will prove very fatal for the run here, as it will cause a soft lock. And a Warlock not giving much either. And the Dragon Scale in the middle of Garen's grave on Amazing Toaster's side. Sparkover, meanwhile, has found the Tablet Cave and is going to meander through. No enemies to encounter there, and it's a free chest. And Erdrick's Sword. Wow. And it's right by Sharlock. Amazing Toaster, meanwhile, is going deep into the grave. Things certainly working very swiftly thus far, and an excellent move, a Kaishin no Ichigeki on the Wolf Lord there. And the wings are deep in the grave. Another Kaishin no Ichigeki to smash the wizard into 120 pieces. Amazing Toaster getting some exploration in and opting to not bother with the Druin. Good choice. I mean, it gives a decent amount of gold, but only 29 experience. Oh, and the Wraith Knights have Sleep. And they pack a pretty decent punch. And Sparkover has found the Rainbow Drop Cave, affectionately known as the Jerk Cave, because if you don't have all the items needed to acquire the Rainbow Drop, he kicks you out of the cave. Wow, 196 and 173 on the Metal Scorpion, and that's going to get Amazing Toaster up to level 10. Just past the 22-minute mark here. And Game Boy F9 having a little bit of an inside look that Sparkover with 81 strength has 121 attack power, give or take. The Fighter's Ring has not been found. And the coordinates, DW edit, was 62 south and 11 west. Toaster was trying to cast Heal more, but was unable to do so with less than enough MP. So opts to use the wings to go back to the castle. And is able to do some heal more from there. An Amazing Toaster checking the stats. For level 10, not too bad, all things considered. Already 90 attack. And that's without Erdrick's Sword, which we have found out is in the Tablet Cave. An Amazing Toaster has found Hawk's Nest, so we can get on over there to that Guardian. We might be able to find out whether Erdrick's armor is there. Or if it's in the overworld, although we do have the overworld spot. Oh, that's right, the fairy flute is the other item. I'm thinking, what am I missing here? That's right, the fairy flute. So that could be one of the two things. It'll either be the fairy flute in Hawk's Nest, or it will be Erdrick's armor, as Sparkover has found Garanham. Oh, so we've got nothing. I forgot that was a possibility as well. Yes, because the fairy flute in this version of Dragon Warrior Randomizer can also be in a chest. And as I say that, Sparkover finds said fairy flute, as well as a fairy water and some big bucks. So that means that in this seed, both the fairy flute and Erdrick's token were in chests, and that, by process of elimination, means that the overworld spot is Erdrick's armor, as Sparkover finds an herb in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave. An AmazingToaster chipping away at that experience lead that Sparkover has, and is able to do so just wrecking on some blue dragons for 217 experience apiece. And even a scorpion giving 100 experience. Sparkover, meanwhile, she's in Hawk's Nest and is going to find out the not-so-good news. AmazingToaster, meanwhile, in Cantlin. Should be able to upgrade to the magic armor. And now he has the best equipment money can buy. Sparkover taking out the magician. I mean, I did glance away for a moment. Did she search the spot? I mean, we know that in the grand scheme of things that it won't make a difference, but she doesn't know that. Oh, okay. Kylan97 making a good point that she is aware that it doesn't have anything because she has the fairy flute and she has Erdrick's token. So she knows by process of elimination that because there are coordinates that the overworld item is Erdrick's armor. Oh, and Edgy making a good point. She probably wanted to check to see if it was a good grind spot, and with the Magician giving 34 experience, not so much. And it looks like Sparkover is going to be counting it out, actually. And she realizes that there's a water block. So perhaps this means a trip back to Tanager Castle to acquire the princess. To be able to give Gwaelin's love, which will provide it'll provide two things. It'll provide where the coordinates are in relation to the castle, which will be able to help find that overworld spot better. And it will also give the information in terms of how many experience to the next level. As AmazingToaster is going to go up to level 11. And is in the Swamp Cave. And Sparkover is going to go up to level 14. And she's back in coal, or I don't believe has she gotten to coal before? I mean, we know the search spot didn't have anything. Ooh, as AmazingToaster finding out that his Spectre has Dragon Lord Breath. It'll do damage anywhere between 64 and 72 hit points of damage, although that is reduced by a third with Erdrick's armor, although none of our racers have that as of yet. And Sparkover getting another level here, just about a little less than a minute after hitting level 14. And she has found Garen's grave. So she is going to get the good news that the Silver Harp is right up top. And theoretically, she doesn't even need to go further into the grave. Oh, and a Poltergeist with Dragon Lord Breath. Yep, Sparkover is casting outside. She's casting Repel. Little trip back to the castle, perhaps to replenish some MP, or... No, she's going to go into... I thought she was going to go into the treasury perhaps to pick something up, but since she has the number of keys that she needs, she's going to go get herself a princess, as AmazingToaster hits level 12. AmazingToaster is meanwhile trading in the Silver Harp and is going to get the Staff of Rain. But at this point, Toaster needs to find the mountain cave to get Erdrick's token, and needs to find Rimmeldar, and needs to find both fast. And the Poltergeist, meanwhile, with Sleep and Dragonlord Breath, and that's going to send her back upstairs into Tanager Castle. This is definitely a seed where the ghosts are busting the players. As Toaster now is getting a respite at Breckenary. Sparkover, wow, with 110 MP and 152 HP at level 15. And back after the Spectre, gets an early jump. Hurtmore not working. 2 Dragonlord Breaths in a row. It makes it difficult to even get an attack on. As Toaster now has found Garenham, and Sparkover again having trouble with the Spectre. Toaster getting his Fairy Flute, another 217 experience for Sparkover. And Toaster is going to pick up an herb here in the Stones of Sunlight Cave in the back of Garenham. Z-Man noting in chat that it may be worse than the Wraith that he and the Seawolf 1 had to deal with last night, and I did get the chance to watch that a little bit earlier, and that was brutal. Knights, meanwhile, pack a punch. An AmazingToaster working on another Scorpion for another 100 experience. Knights giving 120. And over 200 gold. As AmazingToaster takes out a wolf. This has, for the most part, been a very generous seed as far as experience, as we're 34 minutes in and already 4,300 and change experience for Sparkover. AmazingToaster trailing by about 10 minutes in terms of getting his first enemy, but still right in the mix. And that's part of the reason why. Star Wyvern's giving 200, as now up to level 13 for AmazingToaster. And Z-Man noting, very accurate in chat, generous except for the Spectre that might be needed to get Erdrick's armor. Or not, as she was able to count it out. Very expertly done. I'm flabbergasted at that. That is a very heads-up play. So Sparkover now with all the equipment. Haven't had the chance to see the stats if it's about time for her to go visit the... Oh, she still has to acquire the Staff of Rain. That's right. There's a little more errand running to do before making her way into Charlotte Castle. Amazing Toaster, meanwhile, has found the Mountain Cave and is going to acquire Erdrick's token in a matter of moments. As Sparkover now up to level 16. And Sports Hefe noting in chat that she found a land bridge to Breckenary, and well, to say the least, this is, while it's not a traditional Sparkover bridge of just a small stretch of land, I'm sure it's one that she'll appreciate here. As she now gets the Staff of Rain. And it's just a matter of getting back to the Rainbow Drop Cave, also known as the Jerk Cave. And fairy water for Amazing Toaster, as well as some more bucks. And Amazing Toaster has Erdrick's token once he throws something away here. Bye-bye torch, hello token. So here we are 37.5 minutes into this seed, and things have been moving at a Michael Phelps swimming pace. As at this point, all Sparkover needs is to acquire the Rainbow Drop and make sure she's leveled up enough and take on the Dragon Lord. But Amazing Toaster not too terribly far behind. At this point, he needs to find Rimmildar. That's where the Stones of Sunlight are being held within the treasure chest behind the two locked doors. But then there's the simple challenge of... Oh, yes, yeah, there we go. There's the challenge of looking in the chest and Toaster making a beeline for it. And Amazing Toaster has the Stones of Sunlight. So, Toaster missing out on Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor at the moment, which we know is in the overworld spot. But other than that, and about a 1,400 experience gap, he's right in this as well. As you can see, the Magiwyvern, that's going to get him up another level. A slightly underwhelming level, but a level nonetheless. Drakema, meanwhile, casting Hurt more on Sparkover. She shrugs it off and takes out the Drakema for 106 experience. And, oh, another one of those specters. And she nopes on out of it. Toaster, meanwhile, back at Tanagel Castle for a magic point replenishment. Sparkover dredging the swamp and is going to find the Jerk Cave. And she now has the Rainbow Drop. was wondering if for a moment if Toaster was going to... Oh, okay, Toaster's also going to count it out. I believe he encountered the Spectre earlier and realized that, nope, not a good idea. And just past the 40-minute mark of this seed, Sparkover is entering Charlotte Castle. And Sparkover trying to run away and not having a lot of luck with it. But now finally able to get away, and she makes her way through the first floor of Charlotte. DW Edit, so far it is definitely up there. I can't say for certain as far as time when the earliest was that one of our racers has entered Charlotte Castle, but it has certainly been swift thus far. But Charlotte is the equalizer. And Edgy, that is correct. The fastest time in this tournament was McGrew with a 51-minute and 58-second finish. But that's just in this tournament. That's not across the board of any of these streamed races. I believe Game Boy F9 was making mention of the record earlier, but I believe we're past that point here in the 40 and change minute mark. And Metal Scorpions with Sleep being a bit pesterish. And Sparkover wanting none of a wizard, but the wizard says, nah, you're going to stick around a little while. And a 196 on the enemy brings AmazingToaster up to level 15. And Wraith Knights with Sleep. Toaster, meanwhile, back to the count. Ooh, and a Slime with Dragon Lord Breath. And it takes Sparkover out. Wow. And it's going to be quite a bit for Sparkover to get to level 17. Just a hair over 2,500 experience. And Toaster's already taken care of that. And Toaster has Erdrick's armor. Sparkover, meanwhile, heading back into Charlock. Except the Slime family is putting up a bit of a blockade. Now, Amazing Toaster, all he needs is the rainbow drop, and if along the way he can find Erdrick's sword, which is in the tablet cave. And he'll be in good shape. And as I say that, Toaster enters the tablet cave. Little commentator's credit for a change as opposed to commentator's curse. Wow, and the slime being very bothersome with that Dragon Lord breath, and Sparkover immediately resetting to save a little bit of time. Just to save that 15 seconds of getting back into the field and avoiding the lecture from the king. So Amazing Toaster now has both Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor and is just missing the rainbow drop, which I would imagine he's heading for now, having, I believe, seen it earlier. And with the experience gap only being about 900 between Amazing Toaster and Sparkover, we got ourselves a race here. Yes, both of our runners have Erdrick's sword and Erdrick's armor at this point. So now Sparkover, I'm guessing, is looking for an experience farming spot? Or is she just making her way back to Charlotte Castle once again? I don't know. With the running away, she's definitely looking to get back into Charlotte. So here we are, 47 minutes into the seed, and little left to do here, as a lot of things found very quickly. As Erdrick's token was in the mountain cave, the Stones of Sunlight, they were behind the doors in Rimeldar. Also, the Silver Harp was in Garen's grave along the top. And both of our runners are in Charlotte. Amazing Toaster a little bit behind, but is going for it at level 15. Only about 600 or so experience away from level 16, realizing that he's got pretty much everything he needs. He's going to give it a go here. Toaster putting the Scorpion to sleep and running away. When you put an enemy to sleep, your run percentage is guaranteed. And Amazing Toaster finding out, that the slimes hit hard. And he might find out in a moment here that they also have the Dragon Lord breath and having a little trouble casting sleep. It is Amazing Toaster, and now both Sparkover and Amazing Toaster having their troubles with the slime. Welcome to Chaos Seed, something you never thought you would hear. Both of our racers having trouble with the slime in Charlotte Castle. And Sparkover taking a death and resetting again. Amazing Toaster, meanwhile, able to get away from the slime. But now encounters another one. And Toaster able to put the slime to sleep and runs away. Only to encounter a third at a time with the Dragon Lord breath. Sleep not effective. And Toaster taking a risk here with only 3 HP and not enough. and Toaster's going to go back to the castle. Only 638 to level 16 for Toaster. Meanwhile, for Sparkover, I guess she's recognizing that, all right, a grind up to 17 is going to be necessary, so she's working on the roughly, at this point, a little less than 2,200 experience to try to get to level 17. The desert looking to be a great grind spot for Sparkover with those blue dragons that it's almost coming full circle, as that was what launched her to level 6 just 2 minutes into this seed. Plus the Magi-Wyverns with 126 experience. Toaster, meanwhile, back into Charlotte Castle. And thus far, there hasn't been an enemy in that desert that Sparkover's working on that hasn't been very fruitful in terms of experience. Blue Dragons for 217. We saw a Gold Man for 144. Magi-Wyverns 126. So Sparkover, not going to take too terribly long to get up to this level. Star Wyverns with 200 as well. And now she's just like that. She's only about 700 experience away from level 17. As AmazingToaster back in Charlotte, dealing with these scorpions and slimes that have been giving trouble across the board. Sleep not having an effect on a scorpion that's hitting hard. And that's the other challenge. Using all this MP just to get down to the Dragon Lord. What will there be left even if he makes it there? And Sparkover should be just an enemy away. This Gold Man should get her to level 17. And it does. Wow, 13 response speed. That might be just what she needs. As that added agility will certainly help with trying to run away from these enemies in Charlotte Castle. So just like that, the grind has allowed Sparkover to take a 3,200 experience lead. As it was noted in chat earlier, the Charlotte deaths will certainly contribute to that. And Sparkover heading into Hawk's Nest and recognizing no business is needed there. Looking for a town to rest up and perhaps stock up if herbs have been utilized along the way. A little bit of a non-playable character trollage. And AmazingToaster back with the nemesis, the slime. He runs away, or attempts to run away, gets another DL2 breath. He's already down to 65 MP. Just 8 heal mores. Make it now 7 as the casting of sleep. It gets the slime to sleep, but at quite a cost, as AmazingToaster is now in the 5th level of Charlotte Castle, that 5th basement, and finds red dragons with Hurtmore. And Toaster feels like punching it's going to be necessary here and does so for 118 experience. Going to use a couple of herbs. And now Sparkover is back in Sherlock as well. And immediately encounters a slime. And Toaster's going to get up to level 16. Welcome to Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos, Revenge of the Slimes. Well said, Sports Hefe. Yes, co-starring the Scorpions. And AmazingToaster not going to bother with the Sherlock Treasury. But the slime is definitely going to bother with him once again. And is debating and casts Sleep that doesn't work. As that takes away yet another heal more. As he uses one as well, just down to 46 MP. Perhaps utilizing this to at least find out what the mini-boss is right before the Dragon Lord, and if able to get there, at least what maybe Dragon Lord 1, the first form of the Dragon Lord, may have, because that could be particularly nasty. Oh, goes for the Hurt More Hail Mary strat and gets it. Only to unsuccessfully run away from a Scorpion. And a YOLO Hurt More for the Scorpion takes him out. And that seems to be the play here. And also in doing so, while there's not much MP left, just chipping away, getting a little experience here and there. Now, Toaster doesn't realize that it's still another roughly 2,400, now 2,300 and change to get to the level 17. Sparkover, meanwhile, being slept by the Wraith Knight. And not quite wrecked. The Wraith Knight's not hitting hitting too terribly hard, but if they use that Hurt More on top of it, that's where it tends to be bothersome. But also, where it tends to be annoying is the consumption of time. And another Hurt More by the Wraith Knight. Sparkover down to single digits, gonna have to use a Heal More. But another casting of Sleep by the Wraith Knight, and AmazingToaster mere steps away from the mini-boss, but down to 4 MP. Not able to utilize the Hurt More. Gonna try one more YOLO Sleep. Doesn't have an effect. Scorpion attacking for 18, and Toaster is not going to make it to the mini-boss. Falling ever so short, and is back at Tanagel Castle and finds out that it's just under 2,200 experience to get to level 17. 7493, that is the experience number. Is Toaster going to grind more? Is he going to go right back in? Meanwhile, Sparkover still struggling to get away from the Wraith Knight, constantly getting put to sleep. And to answer your question in chat, DW Edit or Dwedit, the mini-boss, no, it does respawn every time you head into that space. So if it is an easier-to-kill enemy, it could be a potential experience grind right before the boss if you're close to another level. But we will see here if it's needed. Toaster going after a golem that is spamming stop spell. Sparkover on the 5th basement of Sharlock. 2 more to go. And finding out that Red Dragons have heal more as we have crossed the 60-minute mark in this race. Both AmazingToaster and Sparkover looking for their first victory here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament. This is the 3rd and final of the Swiss seed rounds, or Swiss-style rounds, known as the Ghost Round. Unfortunately, both of our competitors eliminated from the tournament, but certainly not for lack of skill, as both have been very impressive here. Toaster now approaching Sharlock once again, dealing with a metal slime. Sparkover continuing on this Red Dragon, now on the 7th and final basement of Sharlock. Red Dragon's not hitting very hard, but being pesky with that casting of Heal More, and Sparkover finally says, enough is enough, I'm running away from it. And Toaster fighting everything he can along the way, but being greeted by the slime, saying, hello, remember me, but able to get away. As Sparkover having to use a Heal More on this Scorpion that she can't quite get away from. As AmazingToaster is able to escape a Scorpion. AmazingToaster getting great run luck on the 1st floor of Sharlock. As Sparkover now running into a Spectre that takes half her hit points with a Dragon Lord Breath. Sparkover using an herb. And now running into another Spectre that she can't quite get away from. As long as the Spectre keeps attacking, she's okay, and she gets away from that one. Toaster, meanwhile, with continued run success. And now is going to swat at a Wizard. Meanwhile, a pair of Dragon Lord Breaths, and Sparkover attempting to run on 47. That meant she had a 25% chance of it being a fatal attack. Oh, and she attempts to run again and not heal more with 13 hit points, and she is taken out. Only 59 experience to level 18 for Sparkover. Looking to do so here. The Warlock won't quite do it. It'll get her a little less than halfway. The Metal Scorpion, however, definitely will, but Metal Scorpion's using Sleep, as well as the spell of Hurt. And the Metal Scorpion using some sleep run tactics. Things have gone so fast and furious as now Sparkover hitting level 18. Getting another bit of a boost here, but talking a little bit here about both of our runners. AmazingToaster, his main randomizer competition is Zelda 1 randomizer. He's in the top 7 of the current 56-player tournament. He also races Zelda 2 randomizer, doing more of that once he's finished with the tournament here. Was also looking to pick up Dragon Warrior randomizer anyway, and the tournament was as good a time as any to do it. Fell just short in both of his first 2 matches. The first to Jackamus, finishing in just over 2.5 hours, an arduous seed. And then in the closest matchup of the tournament, he finished trailing to Lord of the Synth by just 15 seconds in that match with a time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 59 seconds. So a little bit of a rough go early on for AmazingToaster. Sparkover, meanwhile, She's been in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community for a while now and is also part of the sub 6-hour club for the vanilla version of Dragon Warrior with no manipulation, currently in 4th place. Outside of this, she's been getting into The Legend of Zelda lately and is chief of the fire department, holding a world record in Fisher-Price Firehouse Rescue, a super serious speed game, beating the game in 12 minutes and 13 seconds. She's also been in 9 tournament matches prior to this, going 5-4 overall. She lost her opening round matchup to Amazing Ampharos with a solid time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 40 seconds, and hung in against Tristal, but ultimately fell with a time just under 1 hour and a half. And now here, both in decent position, but both having trouble with the slimes. But Toaster able to... Toaster's fighting them. Will that be the difference, though? AmazingToaster utilizing the MP, having considerably more than the previous run at this point. But on the same token, expending those resources, what will be left if and when Toaster is able to get to the mini-boss, let alone the Dragon Lord? As a Spectre now, breathing fire and forcing Toaster to use another heal more. Already down to 65 MP, just 8 casts of heal more. Sparkover, meanwhile, on basement 2 of Sharlock. AmazingToaster taking out another Scorpion, but again, the expenditure of the MP now down to just 46. And able to get to the mini-boss, and it's an Axe Knight. As Sparkover now going to level 19. Sports Hefe noting 10 steps ago, Toaster had 95 MP, utilizing over half of that. Now let's see what Dragon Lord 1 has. Well, it has Baby Breath, not a lot of agility in his 2-shot, and here we are 68 minutes in, and AmazingToaster going to be the first to fight the Dragon Lord, and a snipe attack right off the bat. Now, the Dragon Lord in the vanilla version of the game has 130 hit points, and the standard randomizer can have anywhere between 150 and 165. But here, anywhere from as low as 100 to as high as 230 hit points. An AmazingToaster with a couple of attacks, already up to 20, now 28. Some pretty low rolls, all things considered. Well, that one for 13. But now just down to one more heal more. And at this rate, yeah, unless Dragon Lord 2 is at absolute minimum 100 HP... Oh, well, at a 7 there, that's going to be 59. And another 12, that gets it to 71. One more attack here, and another 7 gets it to 78. And that is as far as Toaster's going to get. Meanwhile, Sparkover, rather nicely traveling through the 7th basement of Sharlock. And perhaps AmazingToaster thinking about a grind? Hard to say, as Sparkover now has found the mini-boss Axe Knight. Gets away from a red dragon. Red dragon gets away from her. Scorpion being pesky. And Toaster perhaps looking to find a grind spot. And no, I don't believe Sparkover using Repel in... Yeah, the Repel doesn't work inside the... Yeah, the Repel only works on the overworld, as the chat is noting. That'd be too easy to be able to cast Repel inside Charlotte Castle. But now this Scorpion being pesky once again. And that gives AmazingToaster a chance to grind up. As now with a Star Wyvern, AmazingToaster just roughly 600 experience away from level 17. And Sparkover having to use another heal more. I mean, she still has 15 left, but this Scorpion is being persistent. Dare I say, unrelenting. But she finally does get away. And, well, unless I'm missing something here, okay. The Dragon Lord sprite not appearing, apparently, but nonetheless has been declared a fool, and Sparkover's going to give it a go. Well, Sparkover using an herb and having a little bit of trouble with Dragon Lord 1, but here she goes into the DL2 fight, 15 heal mores, and she's going to start off with 14. Oh, and I think that might be the difference there. The attack only taking away 25, so she'll be able to get some double attacks in, but opting to use Stop Spell. We didn't see the Spell of Sleep being cast. Oh, wow. But the difference in damage, just the difference in those extra levels, definitely showing here. As AmazingToaster was hitting anywhere between 7 and 13. And so far here, we've got a low of 12 and a high of 21. Now, any of the next attacks here could do it, as she's up to 96 now, 111, and she has done it! Sparkover has taken out the Dragon Lord with a low roll. It was anywhere between 100 to 111 HP based on her final attack. Ladies and gentlemen, get out your GGs for Sparkover, who will finish our race tonight and win with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 5 seconds. Lord of the Synth noting in chat, Charlotte was the real boss of this seed, and it most certainly was. You can give the MVP award to the Slimes and give an honorable mention to the Scorpions, to say the least. Just a little bit hectic, that's for sure. And Smashy noting in chat, if Toaster hadn't lost all that MP right at the end, it could have been Toaster's. I mean, it definitely was back and forth right in the last 20 minutes or so. Both utilizing a little bit of a grind. Yeah, exactly. We entered Charlotte 40 minutes in, and it took 34 minutes after that to finally TCB, take care of business. And we hope to be having a chat with Sparkover, our victor, in a little bit here. Amazing Toaster, meanwhile, getting an excellent move, a Kaishin no Ichigeki on an Axe Knight. Toaster, I guess, looking for somewhere, anywhere to grind. And I believe, with the tap of the mic, I believe that a Sparkover appears.
Hi.
Congratulations and GG.
Thank you. Dear me, Sherlock was terrible.
That is an understatement. It most certainly was. Noting in chat that it took 40 minutes to get into Sherlock and another 34 to complete it.
Yeah, that was very rude.
There was some definite rudeness going on. That is for certain. But yeah, I mean, I think the early advantage was that first kill on the blue dragon, roughly just over 2 minutes in for you, and that just propelled you to level 6, and you were just off to the races from there.
Yeah, the beginning was a lot of fun. I mean, you had Catelyn that had like everything you wanted, and then after that it was pretty straightforward. I mean, a little ziggy-zaggy for walking around, but it was fun until the Sherlock part.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about. I noticed that both of you had attempted to go for the princess to try to make the counting of the coordinates a little bit easier, and I believe it was the Spectre that was guarding it, and both of you kind of noped on out of there after that.
Could barely hit them. They had Dragon Lord breath, so you could like barely even heal more out of that, so yeah, and then I looked at it and I figured it wouldn't be that bad to count out. It was pretty straightforward, so it worked.
Yep. And both of you did just that. You had both counted out, had a little, as you'd said, ziggy-zaggy to get to it, but both did a very impressive job of acquiring Erdrick's armor via counting everything out.
Yeah, I did it on my first try, so that's not bad. And I was smart. I didn't search the space in Hawksness. I didn't search the space in Cole. I actually kept it in my brain that they were empty.
Yeah, we had noticed that here. I was like, well, she beat the enemy, and we were wondering, like, well, all right, well, she didn't search the spot, and we realized, well, she probably knew, but was just looking to see if it was a potential grindable enemy.
Yeah, I already had the flute and the token, so and coordinates, so I knew that it would all be empty. So wasted text time.
Well, we figured the information was more so, all right, is the enemy grindable? And
yeah. But
with 34 experience on a magician, not so much. Although there were plenty of other grindable enemies here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a very fruitful. We had noticed. I think that was part of what helped propel you. Was you knew at one point, all right, I've got to go from 16 to 17. I know it's roughly 2,500, 2,600 experience to get there, but that desert just east of Tanagel Castle. I mean, it had blue dragons for the 217. It had gold men for 144, Magi Wyverns for 126, and then on top of it, Star Wyverns for 200 experience. It was just a festival of riches there in the desert.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep a note of where a good potential zone is, and you get very lucky if it's right beside the castle.
Most certainly, as Amazing Toaster, well, was in Sherlock and just cast outside after getting to the first basement and maybe realizing that the MP usage was a bit more than intended. Just said, all right, nope, let's replenish and start again here. It's been Amazing Toaster has had a lot of the same struggles that you did with not only the slimes but the scorpions, who were the co-MVPs of the troublesomeness that was Sherlock.
Yeah. Well, I like the part where I spend like a good part of like 3 minutes or so trying to kill a Wraith Knight, and then eventually I just cave, give him a whack, and he's dead in one hit.
Oh, that was a time-consuming issue, and yeah, everything you were trying to do wasn't quite working, and you just said, "All right, let me hit him," and oh, look at that, dead.
I may have said some bad words. It was a good time.
Well, I was gonna say I don't even know where to go as far as the. Well, we'll leave whatever those bad words were alone out of it. Yeah. We'll,
The
we'll,
crowd
we'll
can
presume that you
imagine.
just said something like fiddlesticks and maybe rude and left it at that.
Oh, shucks.
Yes, that'll also do. All right, Toaster back in here in Charlotte Castle. Now with just over 8,000 experiences, up to level 18. And not too terribly far from 19, so if he ends up taking an enemy out here along the way, there'll be that extra level gain. I think that differential as well was it because he was the first to get to the Dragon Lord. It took both of you quite a while because of those slimes and scorpions and also that Wraith Knight, but once he did get there, the difference was noted as he didn't have a lot of resources. He had used up a lot of MP trying to sleep run and casting Hurt more on a few of the scorpions to try to get 100 experience a piece and kind of chip away at the experience lead that you had. But yeah, once he got to Dragon Lord 2, he was attacking for 7s, 8s, and then a couple of double digits. Maybe hitting between 7 and 13, and then the differential, you going down there and hitting 14, 16, 21. Your lowest roll was a 12.
Yeah.
And then kind of that surprise for all of us of, the Dragon Lord only has 111 or less.
Yeah, I got 111, so he was pretty kind at the end.
Oh,
maybe that's why he really needed
the rest of his minions not so much.
Yeah. Anyway, I must step out. I've got some company here. They've been very patient with me. So hopefully Toaster will get done this very quickly. And yes, thank you for helping put on the show.
Congratulations, and good to get one in the W here. As unfortunately, as far as the bracket round goes, not quite enough to get in there, but certainly an impressive showing and a great utilization of your skills and showing why you're a force to be reckoned with no matter what tournament you enter here.
Grr. All right.
Grr indeed, says the Sparkover Bear. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And as AmazingToaster making his way into the final basement of Sherlock, making another run at it here, showing that tenacity that has been present all throughout the tournament here. A couple of tidbits and notes to get into here. Coming up in about a half hour, I believe. We've got Captain Green 7 against Katen 619 as another third round of Swiss-style matches goes on here, and then the remaining rounds will conclude over the next 2 nights as It's Too Early battles Lord of the Synth. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern here along the Randomania networks, and then Tuesday night at 7 p.m., it'll be Zarnax 42 against Azrael Ravenheart. Now, both of those matches, the contenders are 1-1 each, so the winner of each of those matches will advance to the bracket stage, and the losers, unfortunately, well, that'll be where their run ends. So those will be extremely dramatic matchups both tomorrow and Tuesday night here on the Randomania networks. If you haven't already, make sure to give both of our runners a follow here, Sparkover as well as AmazingToaster, as Toaster going to hit level 19. And run into a Spectre. Oh, man. And Sparkover showing some love in chat as well. And a little sleep run action from AmazingToaster. And now utilizing an herb. And here we go once again. And this, oh, wow, 2 herbs. Oh, he's going for the death necklace. This is all or nothing here. And yes, how could I forget? Of course, our restreamer OPT Lawyer, who has been very efficient as always behind the scenes, getting everything done and opting to not watch the Fastlane WWE pay-per-view that's going on. as AmazingToaster. It's on the network. You can watch it later. AmazingToaster taking on. Oh yes, and our awesome tracker, Doo. Yeah, easy for me to say. Doo Dude. Yes, it is, OPT lawyer. Don't worry, I won't give you any spoilers on that. And now, oh wow, 26 to the Dragon Lord 2. This is pretty much pending a missed entry. It's going to be as free as can be. Already close to halfway. Another 23. That's at least 73. I may have missed an attack. And I did somewhere along the way as AmazingToaster, pretty much taking 5 attacks to take out the Dragon Lord. At that point, it was academic, especially with the Death Necklace. And yes, certainly a vengeful rebound, especially with that Death Necklace. So get out your GGs. AmazingToaster giving it a great run here and finishing up with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 16 seconds. And OPT lawyer, to answer your question in chat, no. Once the Dragon Lord has been defeated, there are no random battles that occur. All the enemies are despawned, and it's pretty much just a matter of, if you don't have return and don't have any wings, just walking back to Tantagel Castle. It has happened on rare occasions, but usually our runners will recognize, oh, I'm at level 15 and can beat the Dragon Lord but don't have return. Okay, let me put some wings into my inventory just to save that little bit of time going down the road, because that could very well be the difference, especially if a seed is determined that early on. I believe we're going to hang on a minute here as, yes, with that ding, we have AmazingToaster in the Discord chat with us. AmazingToaster, GG, a great run here to finish off the your run of the Swiss seed here of the tournament, the Swiss style, the third round here for you.
Thank you.
So yeah, how about Charlotte Castle?
Holy cow, those slimes were evil.
Yeah, they had a very high agility. They had Dragon Lord breath that they were not afraid to use, and they were definitely the MVP of this seed, as they gave both you and Sparkover quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I felt pretty good trying to dive at like 47 minutes, and then the slimes came up, and it was like, nope, this ain't happening.
And that, well, you also had a little bit of you were kind of unrealizingly in catch-up mode pretty early on. Sparkover taking out a blue dragon about 2 minutes in, and that 217 experience launched her from level 1 right to level 6, and that included Hurtmore, and she was off to the races at that point, and by 7 minutes in was already at level 10. Whereas, by that point, you were still working on enemy number 1. And I believe at that point you were working on a gold grind to going in and out of Tantagel Castle to get enough money to get some of the equipment at the nearby town.
Yeah, I saw good equipment up there and said, okay, let's go after it, because sometimes that can be the difference in getting one of those started.
Yeah, so it was 2 different game plans that you did a fantastic job in the mid game of catching up as you were exploring. You had found the silver harp before Sparkover did. That was the last one of the last things that she had found, and while she was looking for that, that allowed you time to fight enemies along the way, get to the Erdrick's token that was in the mountain cave, get to the Stones of Sunlight that was in Rimmildar. Not even going for keys at that point, just beelining right to that to the double doors and getting the Stones of Sunlight. And then both of you expertly not bothering to get the princess and counting out the 62 south and 11 west coordinates.
I tried, but that Spectre was a jerk.
Yeah, that, and it also made its presence felt in the lower level of Sharlock as well.
Yeah, at least he went to sleep pretty easily.
True. There was a good amount of sleep resistance there with that one. So you'd mentioned as far as your bio, this was something that you were looking to pick up anyway. This game, and I mean, if nothing else, this gave you kind of a little bit of an experience as to how chaos works, and at least you'll be able to see the non-chaotic form and work on that a little bit for the tournament coming up, I believe, in August.
Yep, I'll probably look forward to doing that in the late summer then.
Yeah, that it's a lot of fun. It's what got me into this here. I watched the archives of that. I stumbled on that in YouTube and ended up joining the community in December and started doing commentary for races. And now they haven't gotten me to shut up, at least
Well,
for the most part.
I think it's appreciated.
No, it certainly is. At least well, I would imagine so. Otherwise, they wouldn't have me keep doing these here. But yeah. So as far as your run here in the tournament, I was gonna say not enough wins to qualify for the bracket stage, but as I said, a lot of experience and pretty good amount of fun as well. And I know I was on pins and needles with that second match that you had, the second round that was the closest finish thus far. It was just a 15-second differential
Yeah,
between you and Lord of the Synth.
that was a good one.
Yeah, so certainly, yeah. Even though you weren't on the winning end of it, certainly some exciting moments, some great nail biters, and I mean, as a viewer and a competitor, it's all you can hope for, right?
Yep, just get some experience with the game. That was the big thing I was wanting out of this tournament. So
And that certainly has been achieved. Well, GG once again here, and we're gonna wrap things up here so that way we can make way for the next race that'll be coming up here on Randomania 2 in about 20 minutes. A few things to note as far as the Randomania networks. You can check out the schedule of upcoming events. And I believe that is with the schedule command here, as I'm not exactly the greatest of those particular things, in all honesty here. Uh, I was going to say, I'll leave that to OPT Lawyer. He's better at that. Um, Also, make sure to give our runners a follow, as well as, well, yes, our runners, of course, Amazing Toaster and Sparkover, as well as behind the scenes there, OPT Lawyer, our restreamer, as well as our tracker, Dude, and myself as well, Ferran Burgundy. Make sure you want to give us a follow. And don't forget, coming up, not too terribly far away, just a couple of weeks, in fact, we've got the Randomania Marathon. That's right. It's going to be a whole week, roughly 170 straight hours of streamed randomized games, including The Legend of Zelda and Dragon Ball, so Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, Secret of Mana, and a whole bunch more. That all comes up, and you can check out the full schedule at the hararo.org link that has just been posted in the chat. That's going to just about wrap things up here. Until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying, may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Stay tuned. We're going to toss things over to Randomania 1 and give them a host, as currently going on another one of our Dragon Warrior Randomizer Chaos Tournament seed races, a battle of 2-0s, Janice Zeal and the Tie-Dye Guy. Good night, everyone.